We, the petitioners from the Borough of Harrogate, request that the Council undertakes a review of the evidence for the economic uplift predicted in the local plan. The effect of these economic projections is to increase the baseline figure as agreed by government from 395 houses per year to 669. What specific evidence is there for applying this level of increase? The government's white paper agrees that local authorities can factor into their housing need evidence that projects a substantial increase in economic growth. The Council currently quotes the Hedner Housing and Economic Development Needs Assessment as evidence to justify a huge housing uplift of some 60% from 395 to 669 houses per year. The report states that to meet the number of estimated jobs in the forecast, there would need to be an increase in the resident labour supply of around 9,000. However, as the report itself acknowledges, projecting economic growth is not an exact science. The Hedner does recognise that job growth can influence housing need. It does not say that increasing housing can influence economic growth. Increasing the supply of good quality housing to enable those who work here to afford to live here is not dependent on having a large increase in housing numbers. It is dependent on planned policy to build the right type of affordable homes in the right places. The forecast in the Hedner predicted that the UK economy would experience growth of 1.9% per annum. As of September 2017, the Treasury is now downgrading growth to 1.6% in 2017, dropping to 1.4% in 2018. Indeed, the OECD predicts growth of just 1% in 2018. This downgrading of growth has already translated into job losses and a reduction in labour demand. The UK is currently experiencing the weakest level of growth in the G7, and our productivity levels for the first 3 months of 2017 take the UK economy back to below that of 2007. The Harrogate Advertiser reported last week that Cabinet members had suggested that the local plan could encourage developing businesses not to relocate outside the district. Examples were given of the online beer distributor Beer Hawk and research company Covance. By implication, the suggestion was that both companies had made decisions based upon recruitment problems, lack of suitable premises, or lack of housing. However, press releases from both companies reveal a range of reasons. Beer Hawk had moved premises within the district 4 times, and their move to Thorpe Arch on the A1 was partly for logistical distribution reasons. Covance, as we understand it, are not relocating, but rather they are opening a new laboratory on the established National Agricultural Food Innovation Campus in York. These moves are part of what is just the natural development for these individual businesses. They will make decisions on their futures for a whole range of sophisticated reasons that do not follow the Harrogate mantra of build the houses and the jobs will follow. Harrogate Council has a vision of where it would like to be, but this vision could quite easily become a nightmare. The government acknowledged in the white paper that more than a third of planning permissions granted between 2010 and 2015 have yet to be built. Permissions were granted for 2 million houses, but over that period only 1.2 million had been started. This huge shortfall is due to house builders and developers hoarding permissions in order to push up house prices and profits. There is no shortage of housing permissions. What there is a shortage of developers prepared to fulfil their obligations. A Freedom of Information request to Harrogate Council revealed that in the period 2014 to 17, 5,673 new build permissions have been granted, but only 1,376 houses have been built. Developers are land banking these sites, not producing the houses and failing to deliver on affordable and social housing. Harrogate will be blighted by planning permissions that will sit like a black cloud over the district as communities remain unsure if or when these developments will ever take place. We urge you urgently to review the amount of housing forecast as needed for economic uplift. with the wrong economic forecast and thereby the wrong housing need calculation, permissions will be granted simply to meet the target. Many will never be built, and of those that are, many will be unsuitable in size, in the wrong place, and not affordable. Thank you.
Mr. Blakemore, thank you very much.